Hi everyone, how you all are doing? Being a computer science engineer, it is very difficult for all of us to mug up things, right? Unless and until you can actually conceptualize things, understand the fundamental, do the hands-on, you're not able to mug up. And even if you mug up, you will not be able to apply this knowledge in the industry, which is the biggest failure, right? Knowing things is good, but knowing how to execute is much important. And with this message today, I'm going to start the video, and today we are going to talk about the first project of DevOps. Now, I'm not very good at creating videos, so you have to understand that my purpose here is to do things as I record, and my purpose here to make this video, this recording, is to make you understand what problems I face, and of course it is going to help you in some way or the other. So this video is not from the expert to you guys, it is from a learner as well. Okay, and my purpose here is to refer all the kind of resources and AI tools, generative AI tools, to ask questions. A good engineer don't know everything. A good engineer is one who knows how to solve a problem, right? So too many motivational quotes today. Anyway, we are going to start this. As you can see on my screen, we are going to start with the first project of DevOps, that is troubleshooting of OSI layers of networking. And in this, we have learned a lot about 7 layers you can see on the screen itself. But if someone talks a little deeper and try to understand that, what if we want to debug each layer, right? So I took a little help of Stack Overflow, my mentors, and of course ChatGPT to create a project on it. And in this, I'm going to troubleshoot each layer. So first we are going to troubleshoot on my local machine, which is Mac operating system, and then we are going to do it on EC2 server. All right, I hope this video is not very long, but I highly recommend that you should also start doing along with me. I have not done much of the editing here. I'm actually doing it along with the recording. So let's start. Let's just revise what we are going to do. These are the 7 layers, and we are going to create Python code for each. And don't worry, it's not going to be 100 line of code. It is just going to be conceptual code. I'm going to explain what I did. And then we are going to create the main Python code, which is going to call these functions. Okay. Now, while you are doing this, you will also learn a little bit of Linux and little bit of Python. So it's not just talking about variables, constants, data types. It's actually working with that. All right. So also, as I said, first we are going to run it on my local machine, and then I'm going to run it on my EC2 server, which I created recently. Okay. Now you have to understand that Ubuntu, that is my local system, is not very Linux code friendly. Okay, so some of the codes that I created here are not going to run, and that is okay, because we are going to actually try running it on EC2 server. Okay, now let's start. I am using Visual Studio. I already created the code, but I'm going to open my Visual Studio here. All right, here we go. And I'm going to open 90 days of DevOps, where I have kept all my files. And yes, okay, so I'm not going to scare you with the main first. So let's start with the first layer, that is a physical layer. Okay, now if you know a little bit about Python, you know we import the library which is being used. Now here we are using import OS because we are using the operating system of this device. Okay, and it is going to create a function called check physical and IP link show. Do you remember what IP link show does? IP link show shows all the network interfaces present on the device. Okay, so let me try it first on the terminal, just like that. Okay, I'm not going to run the code here. The purpose here is to recall what IP link show does. So I'm opening my terminal here. All right, let me clear it and let me print IP link show. All right, so if you can see, it is showing all the network interfaces that my device has, and this is to help you know if it is down, if it is up. If it is not up, let's set it up, but we are not going to do anything. We are just going to analyze things. All right, so yeah, we have added this. Now let me add print tab physical layer checked, just to give an indication that it has been checked. Okay, now saving the file. Now let's come to another layer, which is the data link layer. So if you want to see the image once again, here we go. All right, we are coming to the data link layer now. Now let's see the code. Okay, so I'm opening the code here. If you can see, again, import.os, defining the function as check data link layer. Now I'm calling it function, you can call it method, or yeah, it is one and the same thing, depends upon the type of coding language we are using. So okay, now in this we are going to check the data link layer. All right, so okay, so I want to pause little here and I want to talk about what is happening. So many times DevOps engineer don't understand what they are doing with each layer. Now talking about the physical layer, what happens is before debugging any code, the DevOps engineer first checks the connectivity. Okay, so they always confirm if our network interfaces card are active and working. Okay, so that is the reason we did IP link show, to check if every network NIC cards are working or not. Okay, now when we are talking about data link layer, okay, it is, the purpose of this is to check if the MAC addresses of the device is mapping with the IP addresses. Okay, so data link layer is more focused towards IP mapping. Now, for example, if there is misconfiguration, of course, things are not going to work out. Now, if you can see the code here, we are using ARP, right? ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. We are going to talk about it in later videos. But this is where we are checking if IP addresses are mapping with the MAC addresses. Okay, so let's see what happens if we run the same on our terminal. All right, so okay, it is taking a little time here. Now, if you can see, it is showing the IP address and the MAC address. This IP address is at this MAC address on this particular device, which was also visible on our NIC retrieval information, right? If you can see, yeah, all these are here, right? Yeah, this device we are talking about, and if you can see, it's there too, right? So this is how things are working in the back end. And now let's go ahead with the network layer. So if you can see, in every code we are using import OS, because we are using the script which is demanding the operating system to respond. Okay, and this is the most simplest and the most favorite thing of networking. So it's ping, it is using the DNS of Google, And if you can say 8.8.8.8 is the DNS IP address of the Google, and the trace route is actually checking if the hopping is being done properly. So if you want, I can try it. C is for count, number of counts it want the device to send the ping. So yes, oops, I did something wrong here. Okay, there is a code problem. Okay, yeah, so if you can see 4 times DNS, and then no packet loss, ICMP echo worked perfectly, and yeah, good to go. Now if we talk about trace route 8.8.8, now it's going to check the hopping. All right, perfect, awesome. It's still going on. See, it's calculating the time as well and everything. So it started from my device till the DNS of the Google, and it reached there in this time. Okay, this is a mean, and this is the maximum time, this is the minimum, this is the minimum time, and this is the mean between the two. Okay, so yeah, you don't need to dig in the into the technicality unless and until it is demanded. So the purpose here is to make you understand the concepts. You can resolve all these things later by searching on internet or asking your peers. Okay, now what happens in the network layer? In the real world, if your server, for example AWS, is not reachable, traceroute helps in understanding where the issue is. Okay, as you can see, it is hopping here and there. So yeah, this is going to help. Ping is the fundamental aspect of sending and receiving echoes, but this one is a serious one. This is actually tracking it. Okay, similarly, if you remember, we talked about trace path. It's the same thing. Now MTR is one of the scripts from this set, which opens a dedicated window, and it does the same thing together. Okay, the pinging and the trace route. So one chart is open and everything is done. You can try it for yourself. Okay, let me try. Okay, MTR, I'll show you. 8.8.8.8, and here we go. Oh, oops. So my bash, my Mac is saying that the command is not found, and you know the reason. This is a Linux command. We are going to test it on EC2 server. No worries. Okay, let me see if I can open the EC2 and show it to you right away. Cool, it's working. All right, let me show you then here. All right, let me do MTR 8.8.8.8. All right, so you can see my trace route is open, a dedicated page is open, and it is actually tracking. It is trace routing. It is seeing from where to where it is going, and then it is sending the ping. Now you can see the change in the average time, the best time, the worst time, right? So and also you can see the loss, right? If you can see the screen here, you can see the loss as well. Now this information is very helpful if you are tracking in real time. Okay, let's exit this. Okay, let's come back to our code, the old and gold one. All right, network. Now let's go to another layer. Okay, we did the network layer. Now it's a time for the transport layer. Okay, now let's see what I've done in the transport layer. Okay, now this is socket statistics, right? And it is tracking the TCP/IP, UDP, listening and whatnot. Okay, so we are going to check what happens if we run on terminal. Okay, and here we go. Unfortunately, SS is not found here too. Well, what is SS? SS is as I told you, checking the stats, and it is also helpful in knowing if certain ports are working or not, or they are listening or not. So for example, if your app is not connected to a database, then we can check if the port, which is for database, I think it's 3306, is open or not, if it is listening or not. Okay, so this is very important. Now let's come to the another layer, that is a session layer. Okay, now session layer is for checking if there is a connection between two application, or you can say handshakes between the two application. And I'm not talking about the pings, I'm talking about the handshake, where we send actual data. Okay, in ping we are not able to send data. In ping type of connection we are not able to send data. In handshakes type of connection, in the session based connections, we are able to send data, because when the connection is established, then only we can transfer. When the pipe is set, then only water can flow. Okay, just throwing a sprinkle of water will not give continuous sending of data, because then security is compromised and there is no surety if the complete data is being sent there or not. And of course, you know that the data is being divided into certain sections, you know, the checksum and everything. So a session need to be established for security reasons, for continuity, and yeah. Okay, so authentication and keeping the connection alive, it is very important. So when you log in, then only you can see the data. Okay, so all right, so in DevOps, the real world example is somewhat like when you connect with the SSH keys, then only you can access your AWS or any cloud you're using. Okay, so session need to be set. Now this is where I use this. Okay, all right, and then moving ahead, we have presentation layer, right? This is a presentation layer. Now presentation is for encoding, decoding, compressing, data formatting, etc., etc. Now if you can see, we are not using OS here because we are dealing with a presentation layer. Now presentation, this library is for how data is transformed for transmission, how data is decoded, you know, and encoded back, so on and so forth. Now if you can see, I have written this code here, DevOps, this, it is getting encoded and then it is getting decoded after it is reaching there at the end point, and then the presentation layer check is complete. If this is happening without any error, then presentation layer is working very well. Okay, now if we come to the application layer, if you remember, in the application layer we are going to talk about only curl, right? Curl is one of the famous script in Linux, and yeah, it is helpful in checking HTTP. It is helpful in checking DNS, FTP, and so on. Okay, so the real world example is you know, when you debug things, when you download certain information from the API or from different server, you use curl. Okay, right. So yeah, you can see that. Okay, so in the first command, if it is checking if this website is responding, and in the second it is checking if you know, there is a DNS resolution. Okay, so by sending these commands, let's try this in the terminal itself. Okay, I don't know why I'm using the code. Okay. Okay. So let's see what happened here. When we clicked on curl, it is showing the content type, the security and everything, the information about the URL we are querying about. And then dig, let's see. Okay. Again, it is showing all the records and everything. So yeah, it is extracting information and it is saying that this is working. No error, it is showing no error. So definitely this layer is also passing the test. Okay, so this is how we are going to troubleshoot a particular system. Of course, what we can do is we can input information. We can ask the user to input your URL and accordingly we can track it. Okay, now in this video specifically, I mean, till now I am just using Google to check the connection. We can definitely ask the user to input their information and then we can check, right? So this is for conceptual understanding first, then we'll move a level up. All right, so okay, we are good to go. Now let's see the main one. If you can see, this is the main menu where people are actually selecting, seeing the content using the print option, and then we are using if else loop with while. So this is happening. If you can see, while is to do it continuously unless and until there is 0 number clicked and there is a break, invalid choice. Okay, so when the situation is true, menu is called and people are seeing this content, and then each and every number is calling a dedicated function from the code which is in the folder layers. Did you understand that? I'm repeating once again. We created a menu which is very clearly listing all the layers which they want to troubleshoot, and then we are calling this, and according to the choices made, we are calling this function which is inside the code named physical, and this physical is inside layers, right? Okay. Okay, so if you can see, main is the dedicated folder, dedicated file, the Python file, and let me just copy and let me paste it here. Okay, now if you can see that, all right, this is folder layers. This is the folders layers. Okay, and inside this folder is a file, which is named as physical, okay, which is called physical. I'm just keeping it small, and this and this and this and this. Okay, all right, and inside this file there is a function called, inside this file physical, there is a function called check physical, right? So this is This is check physical. This is the function. Okay, right. I need to make it smaller, I think. Yes. Okay. All right. Now, I hope this is clear to you all. Let me enlarge it a bit. It's too small, right? Okay. This is good to go. All right. So this is the main file which is calling layers, and then inside layers it's calling physical, and then inside physical py it is calling the function check physical. So if you can see from the code itself, I'm opening the main and then I'm opening this. Okay, too many slides, too many screens here, right? Okay, yes, here we go. Shifting this a bit. Okay, so this is the main file which is inviting layers. From layers, okay, from layers import this file that is physical.py, and from physical call the function check physical. Right? Similarly, it's doing the same for rest of the layers. I hope it is clear now. Right? So let's do one thing. Let's try to run this code. Okay? And here we go. Okay. Okay, the default interactive shell is now okay, that's good. Now let's try to run the physical layer, that is the first layer, and cool, it's working. Second, data link layer. There's a lot of pause while it's working too. Cool. Now let's try third, that is the network layer. Do you remember the code that we are running here? It's using ping. Do you remember the code that we were running for the data link layer? Anyone? Yes, ARP. ARP, that is correct. And for physical, IP show link, correct. And it seems the network layer was running still because we were using ping and trace route. And now we are going to run the fourth layer, that is a transport layer, and let's see what happens. Oops, command not found, and we know the reason. This is not Linux, so it's not working, unfortunately. And what was the command, if anyone remembers, for the transport layer? Do you remember, any one of you? Okay, yes, it is the socket stats that we are checking, right? It's not working. Okay, so going ahead to another layer, that is the fifth layer, that is a session layer. Okay, SSH. Yeah, remember the session one that we were running? Yeah, username and it's everything correct. Okay, so now let's try the sixth layer, that is a presentation layer, the encoding and decoding one. Okay, it's working. Cool. See? Now let's check the seventh layer, that is it's working too. Perfect. So when you notice that only SS is not working, we can make it work. Definitely it is possible, but we need to add new libraries. Then why should we do it? At the end of the day, we are going to execute it on AWS. Okay, so we can see every other layer is working. We are able to troubleshoot it and it's working very well. See, now this is just perfect. After a 2-minute pause, I will be coming back and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this code on AWS and then I'm going to run it there. All right. So what you need to do is you need to set up your AWS if you have not set it up yet. If you have not already done it, then you have to create an instance EC2 and you have to activate it, you have to connect it. Then we are going to use scp command, scp, I'm sorry for the handwriting. We are going to use this to copy the files from my device to the server, and then we are going to run the code. So if you have not done that already, please do it so that we can together run the code on EC2 server. After that, we are going to ask the user for the input of the particular URL that they want to test. Okay, and we are not going to ask options from them. We are just going to run through all the layers, and then we can execute it. Okay, so see you after 2 minutes. Till then, set everything up. If you have not understood anything particularly, write on the comment box, or you can also surf on the internet so that we can continue from there. All right, thank you. See you on the other side of the video. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for waiting. I just grabbed a bottle of water. I was a little tired speaking for 30 minutes continuously. Well, I hope you have set your EC2 server and you are ready to work on that. Now, if you can see on my screen, the name of my instance is batch 9 server, and I have already added the folder which is there on my local device. Now, while I was waiting, I was doing some tests to make sure that I can make you understand properly what was happening behind the scenes. Okay, so I used scp script. Now, scp stands for secure copy, where you can copy your text from one place to the other. You can also do it from local to server, server to local, server to server, howsoever. But there need to be some things that you need to understand. Now, there is a common script of scp that is followed. Okay, I'll write it here. There is a common standard command of scp that is followed, and it is scp with options, then source and destination. This is how copying is done. Okay, you write the source path, then the destination path. Now, for example, if I am copying it from my local, then it's like local file, let me write it properly, local file dot txt to destination file dot txt, and that's it. Now, this is just for files. Okay, then there will be no options at all. But if there is a folder, right, if this is a folder, if this is not a file, so for example, local file is the name of the folder, or maybe just local. Okay, and this is the destination. Then for directories with files, we use recursive, right? Now I have written the file names here, but actually these are paths. Okay, let me write it as path, local, path, destination. I think now this is pretty clear, right? Okay, now if we have to copy the directory, if we have to copy this directory to AWS EC2, then we have to understand where we have to copy. Okay, we know the path of this is pretty simple, but we have to understand this. Now, this was very crucial for me because it took time for me to understand as well. Now, if you can see this is my folder, this is my folder which I want to copy. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, let me copy the path and let me see if it is working. Paste. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, it's copied. All right, it's copied. It's just copying the name, but I want to copy the path. I'll copy it anyway. No worries. So this is the name of my file, and let me enlarge it a little. Okay, this is a copy file. This is my, for example, this is the path of my file, or maybe let me just do it like desktop. Okay, this is the path of my file, and my EC2 server name is Ubuntu. My EC2 public address. Now you have to understand that we have to focus on public IP address and not the private. The reason is we are copying it outside the network, right? So my computer is, so for example, my computer is having its own network and EC2 is having its own network. They both will interact with each other using the public IP address of this, right? If we were creating the server inside the same internet, same network. So for example, if I'm creating subnet or I'm creating different VPC, then I would have used private IP address, right? So that's perfect now. Okay, now we will be using EC2 username, which is, now let me just clarify here. So we are using local directory path, and we are using EC2 name. That is Ubuntu, right? All right, this is the EC2 name that I am using. Okay, and now the IP address is, we have already seen, I think it is this. Let me copy again. Okay, I'm going to merge it with that. Okay, now let me copy what is the EC2 public IP address. It is this. All right, perfect. Okay, this is IP address, a public IP address. But we have to understand, we cannot just access it directly because right now our session is not connected. So we will be requiring the key, the SSH key. And for that, to access that, we need to write its whole path. We cannot just write randomly any SSH key name, and we cannot expect our system to extract it from there. Okay, so my SSH key for this particular instance is in my downloads folder. Okay, so I have copied it like this. Okay, and I'm saving it. The key name is this that I'm saving here. Okay, I'm sorry, this is it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is my SSH key path, and the destination is home Ubuntu. Okay, this is it, home of Ubuntu. Now you have to understand something here. All right, this is a local directory path. This is the real directory path, that is actual path, or maybe destination path. Okay, this is the name of the server, this is the IP address of the server, and this is from where the server is going to get access. We have to understand something here, that just writing the IP address will not help. We have to write everything here again. All right, so let me try to decode the whole thing. Okay, how we are going to use all of these information to combine and use the perfect SCP command. Okay, so the command will be something like, okay, now SCP Now what we are going to do is we have the key path. So key, okay, then there will be the location of my local, then there will be the location, the path of my destination, right? Cool. Now we have to understand that the key can be accessed using I, because I is used to log in. The key is considered as a password, so we have to add here I subscript or I script, sorry. Okay, now since we are dealing with directories, we have to use recursive function. Okay, so we are going to use R. Remember Linux, right? So in this we have to use, because we are dealing with directories. And now let's fill in the information here. Okay, SCP, let me just simply copy here. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to copy the key path, and the key path is this. This is a key path. I'm going to just simply copy it here. Perfect. Now I'm going to copy the directory of local. The reason I'm explaining in detail is because I was confused myself, honestly. It was very difficult for me to try again and again, and I was getting stuck. And you have to understand that you don't have to access it from the EC2, but you have to access from the local system, because your file is in the local system. Okay, so yes, okay, just deleting this. Okay, and now let's understand what is destination. Okay, now if you can understand that the destination is the name of the EC2 instance along with the IP address it has, and then you have to attach the path. Okay, so let me simplify it here. So the destination of the directory will be something like EC name plus IP plus path. Got it? So let's finalize our code again now. It will be something like okay, it will be something like Ubuntu @ or I would rather write @ that is a better sign here, IP address and then we have to write this sign, colon sign. So let me change the plus to colon, and here we go. And then we'll be writing the path, and which is destination path is this. Okay guys, and here we go. Perfect. So this is the final this is the final SCP script that you need to copy, that you need to use on your local, and then you can copy that particular folder on your instance. And as you can see, I'm already inside it. I'm already inside that folder, right? Let me just do one thing. Okay, copy, and I'll do CD. Okay, LS. So you can see 90 days of DevOps is already copied here. This is what is happening for my instance. Okay, right. Now let's do the actual work. If you can see, CD, here we go. LS. Okay, clear. So I'm now inside my folder, and inside my folder I had another DevOps week 1 networking, then another I have project OSI led troubleshooter, sorry. And inside that, if we see, you can see readme, layers, main, etc, right? So I'm going to run the main. Now before running, you have to understand that Python is already installed in your EC2, right? Because by default it's not installed. I have added the link along with this video so that you can check and you can install it. How to install the Python version 3 on the latest version on your system using apt, right? Remember, apt is the package with which you install. All right, so moving ahead, let's run Python 3 main.py. Awesome. See, it's getting executed. Now let's try one by one. Now let's try first troubleshooting the physical layer. Now 1, okay, it's working. Now 2, okay, perfect. 2 is working too, right? If you can see. 3, the third layer, ping is working perfectly. So we are good with physical layer, data link layer, network layer. Awesome. Now let's try the 4th one. Amazing. Let's try the 5th one. Good. Let's try the 6th one. Hello DevOps. Working well. Let's try the 7th one. Perfect. And now let's exit. Amazing. Thank you very much. So this is how it's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this folder in my GitHub. Let me show that as well. Now if you can see, this is my account. Not very new, but comparatively new. And I'm doing 2 projects in this. Okay, I'm going to create Net Toolbox and I'm going to create this. Now in this I'm going to make some changes, but I don't want to create a video on that because I want you to do it. You just have to take an input, and input from Python is very simple. You just have to take care of the format and test the code, and you will find everything here, right? I have also learned few new things which I have listed here, some codes and everything. This is not just for my reference, but for people who are just missing on few things which are like not covered in most of the videos. So my attempt here is to share with you what I learned, and in the comment you also please share what you learned so that I can understand that concept as well. And let me know if you like the video. Let me know if I missed on something. Let me know if I can improve myself. And thank you for your time. It was wonderful creating this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.